If the beat hits, I'm ready to go. Don't swag just because I love rap. Fuck that.
Welcome back to another episode of Pine Stars. I am Brad Bates. With me, as always, is Brian Tyrannosaurus Rimke and Kurt Brabender. We are here to talk UND baseball, talk a little shit, and take a look at the week ahead. We've got Coach Al Ready with us here again this week. Coach, coming off a fresh, sweep, clean weekend against Parkside Rangers. Took 3 out of 3 from them this weekend. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about how the weekend went.
Yeah, thanks. Always a pleasure to be on the show, fellas. It went great. It was a grind. It was chilly up there, like we talked about last week. Wind was blowing in, but I favor the Hounds in those conditions. We built our squad around how those types of days. It just used to be back in the day when I worked for Vaught all those years. We were built around the 3-run homer. We would bunt, but we wouldn't steal, so we would be, in a sense, we would be giving up an out. And it was just hard to score runs on those days where the wind was blowing in, And so, we just made a choice to kind of change how we do things. We want to be a team that can adjust and adapt to the weather. And, we can hit home runs on the nice days and with favorable hitting conditions. And if it's not favorable, we can still grind and scratch runs across, and that's exactly what we did this past weekend against Parkside.
Yeah, you talked a little bit last week about kind of 4 metrics or elements of the game that if you could win these. So I calculated that you stole 4 bases in game one. And then in game two, just looking comparatively, you had 3 stolen bases, 4 hit by pitches, and 0 errors, as opposed to Parkside had 0 stolen bases, 0 hit by pitches, and 3 errors. And you said if you can win those battles, you're going to win a lot of those games. Game three,
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
one stolen base, two hit
Walks.
by pitch, 2 errors.
Mhm.
You beat them in that category. They had 0 stolen bases and 3 errors. So those were good indicators of how the weekend went. So that was a good call.
Yeah, you can throw walks in there too as well. So walks, hit by pitches, stolen bases, and errors. Just simple plus minus. And if you're even or plus, you have a very good chance of winning the game. I think we call that the freebie war, and we won it in all 3 games.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'd never thought about it that way. And when you brought it up last week, I started looking at that in the box scores, and it definitely tells the tale. But your pitching staff, you've kind of got a little. I don't know. It's a little bit sneaky because we got guys that we think are coming out as starters, but they're coming in as relievers. You had Ryan O'Born start a game last week, a couple weekends ago, and then you got Hallahan starting game one. Ryan O'Born coming in later in that game. Downing's kind of your closer, but you've got a versatile pitching staff. Aiden Pearson starting game two, and Caleb Mars coming in after him. So you've got some versatile guys up on the mound.
Yeah, well, we knew going into this past weekend that it was only going to be a 3-game series, so somebody was going to come out of the rotation. It ended up being Mars. The only reason that we did that was because Parkside seemed to, at least the scouting that we did on them up to that point, seemed to struggle with left-handed pitchers. So, it just made sense to start Hallahan on the first day. And then it also matters whether it's a 9-inning game or a 7-inning game. So, typically if you're playing a doubleheader, one's going to be 9, one's going to be 7, or they might both be 7s. If that's the case, you roll out guys that can, potentially give you, 5, 6 innings, maybe even throw a complete game.
Yeah, and basically, I just kind of figured it was to fuck Rimke on his click to pick because he went
100%.
with Mars, and then you just bring him out of the bullpen. And I have decided that I'm the kiss of death with my clicks to pick, even though Bodie had a decent game two and game three. That first game, I call somebody. I'm sorry, guys. Like I'll wear that. You just need to slow your expectations in game one. Rimke, Kurt, you got anything for Coach?
No, I think and kind of like we talked about, went up there, took care of business, and regional games. They're not conference games, but now puts the Hounds in a nice little 6-game win streak.
Yeah, it does.
You felt like you were trading games there for a while, but that's a nice run you've put together.
Yeah, our region record, you'd have to go back and look and see what it is, but the Mississippi College games were not region games. We have 2 losses against Mankato State, which are non-region games. We also have 2 wins against Washburn that are non-region games. But if you tally up our in-region record, it's actually looks pretty good. So, and the Parkside, those are good wins because they're going to play Wayne State. They're going to play Davenport this weekend, I think is who they have. And they're going to play Grand Valley too, as well, which are, 3 teams that I feel like are going to be under consideration at some point, for sure, Grand Valley and Wayne State. But, those region games are important.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Kurt, you were in warmer weather. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I wasn't on last week, so I'm probably just going to keep my mouth shut this week and not say a word, just because he got the sweep. So I might just sit here in silence all week and see what happens.
Hey, you guys know I don't believe in any of that stuff. But if you guys
Hey,
do, hey, I'm happy to, you know, play
hey,
along.
it ain't
So,
about you. It ain't about you.
I was gonna say the world's gonna be a lot calmer place if Kurt's not talking this week. Um, but you get 3 wins. Win game one 6-5. You win game two 10-4. You win game three 6-1. Luke Smock putting one out of the ballpark. And was that a pinch hit home run in game three?
so not exactly. He had been in the game for at least an inning or two on the
Okay,
defensive side. Yeah, Carter Thomas had a lower leg injury, and which he should be fine this weekend. But Smock jumped in there in his spot and did a great job.
nice. Brett Perry had a big weekend. 2 hits in multiple games. In your leadoff spot. He's somebody we haven't necessarily talked a whole lot about on the show, but he's somebody that really stepped up last weekend too.
Yeah, we pulled him out of redshirt last year as a true freshman about halfway through the season, and it really changed our season. It really, I mean, it's what I feel like it's what got us going last year. It was,
Yeah.
I think it was at Quincy. If you look at our record all the way up till Quincy last year, it wasn't, it was just kind of like, okay. And then, once Brett came out of redshirt, it was really the spark we needed. Took us all the way through the super regional, and he's really become a lot more confident in what he's doing, and it's really showed this year. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better each weekend.
Nice. Do you have a t-shirt on underneath that quarter zip, or are you just raw dogging that?
I do, but you can't.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna end the show. If you didn't have a shirt on, we were just gonna be done. I can't,
It's
I can't
cold
handle
down
that,
here, man. I'm in my basement. It's a little chilly.
says the Canadian. All right. You're headed, supposedly, good weather permitting. You were kind of talking a little bit about this before the show. You're headed to Lincoln this weekend. Obviously, Lincoln is named after Andrew Lincoln, the lead character from Walking Dead. We all know that. We don't want to get into that history, but Jefferson City, Missouri. This is one of those where their record does not stand out. I've got them at 6-24. They haven't won a game yet in the conference, but this kind of reminds me of like when we'd go down and play Oakland City, and they would just play out of their ass for one game and take one from us. And this is one of those where you can't allow that to happen, right?
Yeah, you can poke fun at a team like this all you want, but the facts
Oh,
are
we're going
there,
to. We're
and I
going
know
to.
you will, but the facts are that they're still college baseball players. They're still recruited guys. They're maybe a little bit more inconsistent, right now than, that's what their record reflects. But, you might catch them on a day where, the guy on the mound is out of his mind or something. I
Yeah.
mean, it's baseball. I think I mentioned this earlier before we started recording that, I don't think they have a Division II win yet. And our goal, we don't want to be the first one. We want to go down there and just play Greyhound baseball. And, if we do that, we'll be fine. But again, odds are by the end of the season, they're going to have a Division II win, and
Yeah.
you want to make sure it's not you.
They got some hitters at the top of their lineup, kind of looking through their statistics. They've got some guys that can swing it. But you like we said, you go in, handle this weekend, obviously weather permitting. So keep, those of you 3, 4 of you guys that are watching this, pay attention to the website for games, the schedule, and things like that, because you guys may be playing 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday,
It will
because
be,
of
yeah,
weather.
it will be 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, 100%. That is going to be the schedule. It's just a matter of where those games are going to be played, whether they're going to go. They may still come here. We may go there. We're going to play. It's going to be Saturday, Sunday. It's just a matter of where. I don't know where it's going to be played yet.
Do you have an idea who your game one starter is going to be?
Yeah, we're going to go basically back to the rotation that we've been rolling with. Pearson will throw game one. The 2-7 games, because it's still a 9-7-7-9. Pearson will throw game one. Then we've been going Mars game two. Sorry, game three.
Tran,
Yeah,
Tran game three, and
Tran game
Oborn game
three,
four.
and then either or Oborn or TBA. If we might have to use Oborn earlier in the series, then our game 4 starter will be TBA. But that's how we're going to roll.
Sounds good, Coach. Guys, you got anything else for Coach before we let him go?
No, hope you guys find a place to play. So you guys
Me
are road
too.
warriors,
Yeah.
but another set at the Greyhound Park might be nice.
Well, we got eight games coming up, beginning next weekend, and they're huge games with UMSL and Illinois Springfield. So UMSL, by the way, has been playing really well too, as well. So those games are going to be games that are going to be huge deciding factors in regional implication type stuff. So not just conference play. So those are ones to put on the calendar, fellas.
Yep.
Sounds
Nope.
good.
Hey,
Get out.
real quick, I don't want to get ahead here, but does UMSL still have the pickoff play when they were
Oh, I
playing
was thinking the
Temple
same
Red?
thing.
So
Do they still have that?
they do not, because their
That's
field
unfortunate.
has moved. So
The
there's
plane
still
pick.
planes. They moved their field, but it's not as close as it used to be. So you can still see planes off in the distance, but they don't fly right over top of the field like they used to. But that's a good memory right there, because that was always something you had to pay
Lot
attention
over there
to.
going like this.
Yeah.
Watch the
They
plane
got
pick.
this. They got this one, fellas.
For those of you viewers at home that were not watching Indy baseball back in the late 90s, early 2000s, University of Missouri St. Louis baseball field was right under a flight path from the St. Louis airport. So anytime planes would take off, they'd go right over the field and made it hard to hear. So Vaught was convinced they were going to try to pick us off second base because you couldn't hear anybody yelling back.
Well,
Am I
also,
right?
let's not beat around the bush either. You got baseball players, right? So when there's a plane in the sky, it's like, oh, look, the plane.
That is
It's
very
just a
true.
really good opportunity to.
Absolutely. All right, Coach. We'll let you
Yep.
get going. We know you got a meeting coming up about some regional things, and those rankings should be coming out hopefully in about 2 weeks, and see where the Greyhounds land. But we wish you safe travels getting over to Missouri, and again, go out and take 4, kick some ass this weekend. Put yourselves keep adding up into that W column.
Will do, guys. Thanks again.
All right, give
Yeah,
him hell
good luck,
out.
Alan. Hey, I'll drop that notebook off here soon for that meeting with the NCAA. So
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But we got Lincoln coming up. We know we kicked the shit out of Parkside. And that's the one thing that scares me, kind of like I said, that you remember those trips we'd go down and play Oakland City or something like that. And Barat Gossity goes out and gets blown up, you have
Hey,
you have to
those
think
jokes
about
aren't real funny right now.
That's not that was not how I meant it, but that's actually how it came out. So my apologies.
Well, you have to think about it too, Brad. Barat didn't even take the bus down. He drove his own car because he missed the bus.
Because he missed the bus.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So
I forgot about that.
He couldn't sleep on the way down. He was probably car lagged from the drive. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lincoln's they've got a team full of legacies. If you didn't know, they have 3 guys on the team that are all, well, let me just give you Andy Trebrowski, the 4th. Okay. This kid's actually playing pretty well. He's swinging it pretty well. I'm guessing though.
was he did he transfer in from Yeshiva?
Helped them snap the losing streak and moved on.
He was their cleanup hitter. Had to be.
Got that portal.
So he's the 4th. Probably makes people call him 4, right? Just because he's that guy. They have Dane Watkins the 3rd, and then Zane Hunter the 2nd. Not junior, the 2nd.
Kind of locks him in for the 3rd.
It has to. He's got to have
A lot of pressure.
Maybe there already is a 3rd. Do you think?
Ooh.
Kind of like Javon Dexter Sr. at 20 years old.
Yeah. No, that's well, Scotty dig into that one.
Yeah.
See what he can find.
But they, like I said earlier, they've got some guys that can hit. I mean, Blythe Blakely, remember Blythe Bumstead from the Little League World Series team in Saudi Arabia? His nickname was Dagwood. I don't know why I remember that, but that was from like the 2000 Little League World Series. He was you see the Saudi Arabian team and you're expecting one thing, and it's a bunch of white kids that come out and play, and you're like, And their 3-hole hitter was this big fat kid named Blythe Bumstead, and his nickname was Dagwood.
Wasn't he nicknamed after a sandwich?
Yes, he
Isn't there-
was, because he could eat a
Oh.
foot-long Dagwood at like 12 years old. Easton Stukenschneider. That's a 16-letter last name, boys.
He's swinging it all right.
I know, like these guys could play a little bit, but
You know what? That guy probably never passed kindergarten because he couldn't spell his name in time.
does your name just wrap all the way around your number on the back?
I would love to see that.
When they throw your name in the spelling bee, you know it's going to be a challenge.
That's a long one, boys. That is a long one. But their team ERA, they're getting touched up. Their team ERA, they're throwing 12.73 is their team ERA right now. So the Greyhounds got to be selective. Don't be chasing pitches, making sure that they get what they need out of their appearances at the plate.
Yeah, they'll issue some free passes. 188 on the year.
Oh, oh,
They've drawn 107.
how many hit by pitches?
They've touched people up 57 times
Just throwing darts, baby.
and 48 wild pitches.
Okay.
Wow.
In
Somebody
30
put it-
games, they're gonna hit you or they're gonna miss trying.
You know, this is going to be like a 9U baseball game when they first start pitching. They just can't find the strike zone.
Yeah.
It might be a 5-hour game.
Put a 10 on that circus because it's going to be
Well, let's
snowball
see.
fight. Oh boy. All right. You guys ready for the reason we're here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's run this down. Let's get our clicks to pick for this week. Obviously, I'm not going first. Rimke, you want to start us off?
I will. I got to stick with where I was. I don't want to mess things up. I think I'm going to go back on the mound, and
Bold.
I think in a 4-game set. Guys that have certainly stepped up here, but I'm going to go. I think we're going to have to shut the door. We don't want any trickle effect. Not going to go whole bullpen, but I'm going to go Drake Downey. I think this is a weekend he can probably come in, pick up a few saves. Maybe there's a few games they don't need him, but chance that we see some football scores eventually this weekend.
Yeah. He seems to be look pretty sharp on the mound last couple outings he's had, so that's a great pick. Curtis?
All right. I'm going to do something it's unprecedented, never been done before in the 2-year history of Pine Stars. Again, I love throwing curveballs on this show, taking things off the rails. If I didn't speak, I'd have to assume our viewership would go way down. I'm sure last week I had 1 view because I wasn't present.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys all respect that, and rightfully so. So I'm going to say, I'm doing the defense.
Oh.
Outfield, infield, anybody who's in the defensive lineup, right? That is who I'm picking, right? Reason being, this might be one of those trap series, right?
Yeah.
Like you mentioned with Oakland City or Kentucky State, whoever we played back in the day. But again, this could be a big pick me up going into Missouri St. Louis next weekend. And then ultimately Illinois Springfield and then into Lewis. So
fucking Illinois Springfield. God damn it, I hate them.
So I'm doing the defense. Again, let's keep these errors down, keep the pitch count low on the pitchers. With the high ERA that this team has, we might see some guys we've never seen before that can come out and showcase their ability, on the offensive side, but maybe even the defensive side too, right? Again, everybody's been recruited here. They're all college athletes playing. So again, get a big lead, bring some guys in that might not have seen much game time, and down the home stretch and in the the tournament in regionals, you might have a gem somewhere that you haven't realized up to this point. So
yeah.
I'm doing this. So I know unprecedented. I love it.
I like it. I like it because you just
And
adds into one of those dynamics and metrics that Reddy talked about of errors. And you just play solid defense against a team that's struggling, it can demoralize their spirit in a quick hurry.
Mhm.
All right, my click this week. Reddy talked about him last week a little bit, and I haven't picked him yet, but I'm going Austin Pokley. This guy's kind of a Swiss Army knife. Plays outfield, plays first base, behind the plate last weekend. And he is somebody that I think the more reps he gets in the lineup, the hotter he's going to get. And so Austin Pokley is my pick for this week. I think it's a big week for everybody involved to gain some confidence and build up what they got going on. I think Brett Perry's going to have another big weekend too, but I think Austin Pokley is my click to pick. Austin, don't get pissed if game one doesn't go the way it's supposed to, because that's just my MO. But I think the rest of the 3 games you'll ride.
I think you just handcuffed Al. He has to sit him game 1 now.
Fuck.
So we're gonna let him shine 2 through 2, 3, 4.
Okay. All right. I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Any final thoughts for this
Hey,
weekend?
I will say, for the defense, no sloppy tuna in the field this week. No sloppy tuna.
I don't even know. I was gonna say keep it. I don't even know what the keep it clean.
You're gonna say keep it clean. I'm just saying no sloppy tuna.
You want restaurant grade tuna is what you're looking for. Is that it?
That's that real good high end, yellowfin tuna that goes for millions of dollars. That's what you want.
Oh, Ripke, you got any final thoughts?
That's tough to follow up, but
I just need to leave it at that.
Get out there, take care of business, keep things rolling. I got some big series coming up, so let's get this one taken care of.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate your time this week. Go get them, Greyhounds. You got 4 big games this weekend. Really separate yourself within the conference. Don't let it get sloppy. Keep that tuna non sloppy. I don't even know what the alternative is.